No, but you can't count on me.
I hear you. Why did I see it?
I think we're live.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our OnFlourishing's Hangouts with coffee and Hangouts with our lead ambassadors. Today is our Entrepreneur of Impact virtual watch party. And the team was determined to do some live Hangouts. So here we are hanging out.
Hello,
They'll
everybody.
tell us why we're hanging out at some point. They'll tell us why we're hanging out at some point. But first of all, today is the cut for semifinals for Entrepreneur of Impact. And shout out to our mighty volunteer team who has been rallying in the background for, gosh, is it 5.5 weeks now, to keep us kind of in number one. And we have slipped to number 3 today, but they are determined that we're going to get back up there to number 1. So everybody cast your votes today. They are free votes. Remember, you can cast a free vote. Rally your squad to cast a vote for us. And we're going to go get it. But also, I'm having my morning coffee, but shout out to Brightside Bakery down the street and Anna for, don't tell my trainer who I'm on hiatus from right now, for, posting our Entrepreneur of Impact flyer, getting us some votes, and also starting my morning off with a good pastry and coffee. We appreciate you there. So let's jump in. First, I want to introduce who's in the room. You all have seen me enough and know that I'm Lisa. I'm Lisa. Y'all see me way too frequently. Founder for OnFlourishing, but we have some of our lead ambassadors in the room today. Can we go around and just introduce ourselves quickly?
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm Amy.
Go ahead, Erica, Ariel.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. I am Erica.
Erica, and where are you coming in from? Williamsburg, Virginia?
I am from Williamsburg, Virginia. Yes.
Awesome. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. My name is Ariel Robinson, and I am joining you from Wake County, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Sorry, go ahead.
Right? If you want to do it, we can do it, but don't.
We won't do it. And Amy, you're hanging out here. Where?
I'm here. I'm in Nashville.
In Nash Vegas with me.
Nash Vegas.
Welcome. So I have a first question out because I know I'm supposed to be first up with this. So why are we doing this, you all? Why are we on?
I love it. First,
everything. Yeah.
People need to see your face, right? they need to know what's flowing from you. Need to see your face, but I think it's important that people understand like other perspectives of OnFlourishing, right? Like they need to know kind of like where we are, why we are, and where we're going.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good way to kind of like start having those conversations, inviting people in, you know?
Yeah. I think that is important. Go ahead, Erica.
No, I was just going to say absolutely the same thing she was saying, just very, very simple question that people have when I know I go out and I talk to people and say, hey, especially since we've been doing the Entrepreneur of Impact thing and we're searching for votes and we're searching for support. And, I'm subject to walk up to anyone and say, hey, can you put in a vote for our project here? And the first thing they say is, well, what is it?
Yeah.
So of course, the whole objective of this is just to explain to people, what is it?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
What is it? What are we doing here? What are we making up every day? And first of all, shout out to Erica. I think she is one of our most ham lead ambassadors because Erica is in CVS, she's in stores, she's wherever she is. She's like, can you vote for us? You all made me get out and ask people to start voting. But I'll start with that first question, kind of why are we here? Who are we? What the heck is OnFlourishing? And shout out to Charlie. Last week, I was having a conversation with someone about OnFlourishing. And when I finished, he kind of spit back to me what I kind of spun out for him. And I thought it was the most helpful thing. He basically said, Lisa, it feels like what you're saying is there comes that we come to a place where we like face dilemmas. And he was like, I'm thinking about the current world we're living in right now. It feels upside down. It feels chaotic. I'm trying to figure out what to do. We're not really sure how to get in and where to get in and what's next. And I thought, well, that is kind of the best description because I genuinely think there are about 2 to 3 times in our lives when we feel like we are at a key moment at a fork in the road, and it's not about bad decisions or the right or wrong decisions, but there's really an opportunity before us to say, what does it mean for me to live right now because of a personal obstacle or even a personal dream? And or we look around and we see the world around us and we're like, where do we get in? And how do I live in kind of the most intentional way and the most meaningful way, right where I am? That happened to me. That happened to me. You all, that video is somewhere posted about us and Lisa's video, but that happened to me at a critical time in life. And what I did at that moment was I gathered my squad around a process that I developed that was around the idea of being kind of a personal brain trust for someone, an individual, and you gather up around them. We won't give you the secret sauce for that roundup, but that's what you hear us call our 360s. So those experience 360s in our gatherings are intended just to bring people together at critical times in their life, to find community, to have community, to dream aloud, and to dream about possibility, to build the future we most need. So I went through that process myself. I took myself through that process. Slowly, I started taking other people through the process. And this is what we're offering to everyone now. We want to offer everyone the opportunity to recenter at the times when it's most important to them, to find rest and to find play in that, and just to dream aloud with other folk in your team who will help you dream big. Mm-hmm. If I had to say anything else about this, and I know I'm going to ask the question for me, because people also say, like, we are all about providing kind of these wider playgrounds for safer spaces for, yes, all of us. But while we recognize we have to honor kind of those who have least had opportunity for these safe spaces. That's why you hear us talk about Black women and brown women. And this is why you hear us talk about gender minorities. Like, it's important to us. And it's kind of a non-negotiable that if our spaces aren't safe for us and these populations, then they're not safe for anyone. And that is our non-negotiable commitment as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love
yes.
I love that.
Yeah. So you know what? You all asked me a question, put me on the spot, and I'm gonna put you on the spot. Because one of the things that has kind of hardened me along this journey is that there are at least 20 of you all out there who have just rallied, and then that number has grown exponentially. No one's paid for OnFlourishing. No one is kind of paid to do this work. So what I'm asking is, like, why is OnFlourishing important to you now? Why does it matter for you now?
Lisa, let me jump in. Let me answer that question, because I love this idea of space. In one of your Instagram videos, you talk about the pause. Mm-hmm. You talk about, like, it's the deep breath. And for me, and I know it's overused, y'all, but it's the image of the dinner table, right? It's there is no, in my opinion, there's no greater feeling than being invited to a dinner table where the food has really been curated for you. And sometimes there's strangers at the table with you, but everyone is committed to a certain set of values. That's what I think about when I think about OnFlourishing, the experiences that I've had with OnFlourishing. Mm-hmm. And I'll just say this, that the value that gives me the greatest joy, the ones that I believe are behind sad gatherings, are like soulful belonging is one of them. Mm-hmm. Deep listening, and really a commitment to take seriously the kernels of vision in oneself and in one's table mates, right? And so the dinner table really becomes like this cosmic incubator for ideas and for fill in the blank, for flourishing, right? So that's to me, that's really important. And it's important now because there's so many other distractions. Like, the world is pulling on us to think about and to be sort of caught up in everything else, and to lose sight of that dream, that vision that is within us, that's been sort of trying to be birthed, but hasn't gotten the conversation partners, the midwives to do that. So literally, I love OnFlourishing now because it's asking us to remember who we are, and to remember what our soul is really longing for. And it's an opportunity to turn away from that chaos that you talked about and to focus on communal belonging and peace, which for me, it's those things are always stirring in places where we privilege healing and wellness. So yes, I'm flourishing.
Yes, on flourishing. I love
Yes. I
midwife.
forgot the period. I'm flourishing,
Period.
period.
Don't leave out the period because we mean it. We stand by it. But I love this dinner table image and this midwifing image. Uh, Yes. I'm also mindful that I think Ariel alerted us that one of our live streams was not on Insta. So if folks are just joining us, we're here for our hangout party for Entrepreneur of Impact, and just have some of the squad in to talk about on flourishing, what it means to them, and also they want to hear what it meant to me. And so our main question right now is why on flourishing now? To some of our lead ambassadors, why on flourishing now for you?
Yeah. I think for me, what I've been thinking about recently is kind of like where we are in the country, in the world. I think I am not the only one that feels the shift that's kind of happening, right? And so oftentimes that makes us feel uncomfortable, uncertain. We don't know kind of like what's going to happen. And not that we ever knew what's going to happen tomorrow, but there was this safety I think we felt in our routine and kind of in our day to day that now feels a little shifty, a little less stable. And I think people, specifically creatives at this time, are kind of like, well, where do I go? What is this thing inside of me going to do? How can it live? And for me, on flourishing gives me the space to explore that more and feel safe exploring that, and to kind of peek around the corner a little bit into what creatives can do right now to help mold this new world and this new space that we're shifting into, right? I feel like the messaging that we're getting right now is like there's no space for you, there's no time for you, you had that time. I think that if we kind of reimagine how our gifts can help reshape this new thing, right? What does that look like? I feel like flourishing is giving us that space to do that. So that's why it excites me a little bit, right?
When you say, Aria, when you say this idea of kind of a safe space to do it, what I'm also reminded of is that many of us are punished for risk taking.
Oh, yeah.
In the world in which we live, especially some of us are most vulnerable. And when we decide to take risk, and we often don't have the structures to dream and play, we're often participating in a world that literally tries to discipline us into place.
Yep.
To say what the right routine is, especially what it's like to be a good woman, what's it like to be a good man in the world, what's it like to be a good person, a good human, or one that abides by the rules. And when you try to play outside of those lines, there are risks. There are literally sometimes that we take risk in that. So when you talk about the safe place to be the creative, to kind of think about what does it mean to build my own world, that's more important for some of us than it is for others.
Yeah, very true. And kind of like piggybacking off of what Amy was talking about, that community is so needed, right? Like we just don't have that community for so many different things, right? But specifically a creative community that supports a vision of you, kind of getting whatever it is that you need to birth out, right? It's really important that those spaces are created, and maintained. I don't know, we need it, right? Like it's very important that we maintain that space for those of us who are birthing things in the world. But the world needs is not a need. The world needs this.
Hands down. And that we keep connecting it back to this idea that if I somehow figure out how to be well, if I somehow figure out how to flourish, how to thrive, how to feel like I'm living a life that means something to me, the world actually benefits. It's not for the benefit, but other humans actually happen to benefit, because that's one of our kind of key philosophical ideas. If we are well, the world around us will be better. Might be too early for coffee for me to use other words right now, so I'll stay with the nice words. What about you? Why on flourishing? Why on flourishing now? Oh, you're muted, Erica.
I'm so sorry. I muted because I had another mic going over here and I didn't want to disturb everyone. But I love it. And I think you guys have said it all. At least all that was in my mind. let me see if I can tell you a little bit more. When I think of On Flourishing, I think of these three words that I hear Lisa say a lot:
Uh-oh.
content, belonging, and delight.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
along with that, with everything that I've heard you say today, I'm going to throw in there permission, permission to live, permission to dream, permission to do what is not expected of us,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
permission to do the things that are in our hearts that we have longed to do for the longest time. But I wanted to ask you too about this whole concept, and I know I don't want to take it too long, but say something else that kind of struck me and I think is very fitting, even right now in our current climate and things that are going on, and that's global citizenship.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
when it goes along with our contentment, belonging, and delight, how can we do that anywhere and everywhere that we
Yeah.
exist?
Yeah.
How can we show up in spaces where we traditionally are not, do the things that we traditionally don't do or have not been expected to do, and still thrive
Yeah.
in that?
Yeah.
For me, just having the privilege and the opportunity to work with On Flourishing as a startup. I know, Lisa, On Flourishing, however I
I
say
love it
that.
when you say it. Uh-huh.
As a startup, and to kind of help boost this concept and the whole premise of On Flourishing, I kind of look at it as an inspiration,
Mm.
because we know it's tough, we know it's hard, we know it's difficult to do the reaching out, to get in contact with people, to keep people interested, to get them on board. And we're doing this because we want the public, we want people to know what is On Flourishing, what is it that we're doing here, how can it help you, how can you help us, kind of thing. I think just the whole idea of watching that happen over these past, I don't know, years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been since like 2018 that this whole thing has actually been kind of like founded, and now it's becoming grounded. Um, just watching that whole process, that whole concept, it has brought on inspiration. I think we talk about that a lot. It's exciting to people. It's exciting to me. It's inspiring. As we watch it grow and change and develop, we say, hey, you know what? That's a great concept. That's working. That's helping people. If they can make that work, maybe I can make the things that I want to do work. I kind of look at it as that. And I think that when people come in and they participate in the experiences, the
Mm-hmm.
experience 360s that you call them, they'll get that concept, and they'll
Yeah.
have that, they'll know how that works. They get that knowledge base. I like to describe it as a concept and programming that On Flourishing offers for people to play, relax, release, have enlightenment. You get a squad of people that become your team to help you move forward in whatever these things are that you want to do. Lisa calls them pivots. Other people might call them something else, but we know the change. It's a directional change for us, or a total. It could be a total concept change. It might be your business. It might be your job. Your, I don't know, retirement. It might be your hobby. It's just something different, or something that is on your heart and in your mind that you might have wanted to embark on and maybe don't know how. On Flourishing brings the concept of support to
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
You and a road map to help you figure out how to get those things done. That's
Yeah.
that's what it means to me, and that's why it's so inspiring to me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think one thing that you brought up that we haven't talked about, but is this kind of global citizenship piece. And I know some people are curious about, why is that there? It is big for us to think about that we live locally, but we belong to people well beyond us. And there are a couple things that are important for us. It's like accountability. One way is that the way that we live our individual lives makes us, we can be accountable to other people. We hope that we're accountable to other people, even beyond our block, beyond our neighborhood. But also that part of that kind of global belonging and citizenship pieces, that there are things for us to learn that we can only learn from other people, other cultures, that there's so many possibilities when we kind of do this cross-cultural exchange or kind of creative exchange for thinking about, one, the rhythms of our lives. People often ask me now, it's like, why is this next wellness hub in Italy? Well, I appreciate the rhythms of Italian culture. And there's definitely healing stories for me there, but also also just the rhythm and the pace and the things that we learn in other spaces, as we actually don't just go there for tourism's sake, but to actually engage people on their terms, and possibilities. Hey, y'all, guess what? I'm looking at the clock. And this live was supposed to be like a 5-minute hangout chat. We're now in for like 20 minutes. And
what can we say?
What do you want people to know before we get off about today's campaign? What do you want people to know before we get off about today's campaign?
Today's campaign, actually, I feel like I should throw it to you all, because let me tell you, these 3 souls right here are some of the ones who actually ran the hardest at this campaign. I had to jump in the game because they made me rise to the occasion. Just say, don't lose our hard work. What I want us to know is today's cut is the semifinals cut. So when we win this entrepreneur contest, that what we have the opportunity for is a Forbes feature, which is pretty dope, pretty awesome, a $25,000 grant, which would actually be a great capital infusion for us. The biggest thing we want you to do is like, go vote. The vote is free. It is free. You do need to log in with your Facebook account to cast your vote. If you decide to drop some coin on the board over there on Entrepreneur Impact, it's supporting a great cause, Gen Youth. Your donations are tax deductible, but we are not requiring you to pay for votes, but just cast a free vote. Share the link. Invite others to cast a free vote for us. And we literally have until 7 p.m. West Coast time to shut this down and to take this semifinals cut. So I know the squad is rallying. If you have our QR code from the Entrepreneur Impact profile link and you have a business, you want to post it in there for us, do that. We love it. And we'd appreciate the support and opportunity. Did I miss anything, you all?
Yeah, tell them what place we're in and where we're trying to get to.
Oh, let me tell you, for the first time in the competition, we have dropped to 3rd place, and these folks are not having it. So for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why they have me up on here talking about, can I even figure out a live? Do we know how to go live? But yeah, for the first time, we dropped to 3rd place. And we know, listen, everybody in this competition, their entrepreneurs are great entrepreneurs doing amazing things in the world. So we're not slighting our competition. We know we're in there with good people doing good things. And we also believe we're doing dope things. So this team is like, let's get after it. So we have about a couple hours to secure 1st place for the next round. And then we can get to the next round. The final cut would be on the 27th. So this is
Lisa L. Womack says, vote, vote, vote. Absolutely.
Vote, vote, vote. Thank you, Laura Womack, an extended part of our OnFlourishing squad up in New York State.
Right.
And listen, this one is not to be played with. Okay.
We're going to have to shut down the live because the things that happen on the backside of the chat cannot be broadcast. As I said, we might get censored. All right, fam. Thanks so much for showing up. Thanks so much for following, liking us, for hanging out. And we'll try to do one more of these hangouts before the end of the day. Join us at the end of the day, I think around 6:30 West Coast time. That's 8:30. Help me do my math, Central time, and 9:30 Eastern time. And we'll do a final kind of countdown to see where we are for the day. Thanks for the support, everyone. Here's the OnFlourishing.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.